Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, this is going to be frequently asked questions that I get about my locks. So if you see me kind of looking down, it's because I have it pulled up on my iPad as far as like what questions I randomly get. So just to kind of keep everything organized. So let's jump right into it. But before we do, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. I'm trying to grow my channel, so all the support is appreciated. So let's go ahead and get started. So my number one question that I frequently get is that all your hair? Yes, all of this is all of my hair. Yes, I know it's hard to believe for some, but it is all of my hair. So the second question that I get is, how long have you had your locks? So I've had them for 11.5 years. So this is actually the second set that I've had. I started them mid-year 2011, and I decided when my birthday rolled around in December that I wanted to have a sew-in, so I actually combed those ones out, and then I restarted them like maybe mid-December of that same year. So yeah, it's been 11.5 years. So this December it will make 12 years. So time is going by pretty quick for them. It doesn't even feel like I've had them that long, but yeah, so it'll be 12 years later on this year. So the third question that I get is, can I touch them? Can I touch your hair? Can I touch your dreads? Can I touch your locks? No, you cannot. You cannot touch them. You cannot rub your hands through them. None of that. I don't like people touching my hair. Hands are dirty. I don't know where your hands been. It's just my preference. Some people don't mind, but I don't like people touching my hair or touching my locks or just touching me in general without me saying like it's okay. Most of the time they reach out to touch my hair before they even ask, and I'll have to pull away. But it's not something that I like. So please, if you see me out and about, please do not run your hands through my hair. I do not appreciate that. So question number 4 is, how did you start them? How did I start my locks? I actually started my locks with 2-strand twists. I did a lot of research. Back when I first started them, it wasn't a whole lot of videos online like it is now, as far as like showing step by step what to do, what not to do. It wasn't really like that. So I just found what I could and kind of decided how I wanted to do it. And I feel like 2-strand twists would be better than starting them with coils. I've also seen people start them with braids as well. So it really just depends. But I feel like 2-strand twists kind of worked better for me as well. Another question I get is, how do you wash them? Or, I heard you can't wash your hair with dreads, with locks. I don't know why somebody would get a style that they can't wash their hair ever. I don't know who started that. It's weird. But I usually respond with the same way you wash your hair, with shampoo and water. It's literally the same thing. It makes no difference. So I don't know. I feel like that's a common misconception when you have locks, that, oh, you can't wash your hair, or people don't wash their hair. So I usually respond like that, and then they kind of think about it and they're like, oh, well, that makes sense. I don't know, people. I don't know. Anyway, the next question, question number 6, is, who does your hair? I do my own hair. I started my own locks. I'm the only person who's ever done my own hair. It's just that I really don't trust people doing my hair, and I'm really particular about how I like it, and as far as like what products I use. And I just feel like sometimes it's really hard to find somebody who's going to be consistent, and also who's not going to charge an arm and a leg to do my hair, especially at the length that it is. I feel like they will probably charge me a lot. Or it won't be dried completely. I've seen videos on TikTok of like people, you're drying somebody's hair under the dryer for 40 minutes, and I have long hair. You got to get out a hand dryer, and you have to really dry my hair root to to the tips. So I'm really particular about that. So I just do it myself. Just keep it simple. I do it myself. I usually put on a video, or I watch a series or something, and I'll just do my hair. So the next question is, how long does it take to do your hair? From start to finish. So from the start of me washing it to completely dry, it takes about 4 hours. So that's why I usually put something on the watch, so that I can just, usually it's something I've already seen before, like a comfort show or something. So I'm not really too focused on the plot, since I already know what's going to happen or what's going on. So I usually just put on a video, put on a series, something, and I just get to it. But I feel like 4 hours is really not a super long time. And I only usually wash my hair maybe every 3 weeks or like once a month. So it's not something that I have to do a lot throughout the time. It's just every 4 weeks I get it done. It's 4 hours every 4 weeks. I feel like that's pretty okay as far as like a hairstyle. So the next question is, let me see, number 8, is your hair heavy? No, I'm used to it. I feel like they're only heavy when they're wet. That's when I'm just like, oh, okay, this is a lot. Because I feel like they're like sponges and they really just like really soak up water, or whatever you put in them. So usually I only feel like they're really heavy when they're wet. Most of the time, I mean, I forget, somebody will come and be like, oh my God, your hair's so long or something like that. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. I'm so used to them that I really don't even, pay them no mind most of the time. Or usually like when I'm home, I'll just have my hair like a giant bun so that it's not down or like in the way. So I really don't feel like it's heavy to me, but somebody else it might be. I don't know. So next question is, do you prefer dreadlocks, dreads, or locks? I'm not, I really don't care either way. You can be, oh, I like your dreads, I like your locks, I like your dreadlocks. It's fine. It's completely fine with me. I'm not gonna take offense if you call my locks dreads. Honestly, I feel like when I first started mine, I feel like dreads were more a common word for them. I feel like now, more recently, people are like, oh, they're locks, they're not dreads. And I'm just like, I don't care either way, because I know you're not calling them dreads with like malicious intent or anything like that. You're genuinely giving me a compliment. So I mean, I don't mind either way. I still refer to them as like my dreads or dreadlocks or locks, so I don't really care either way. I use them interchangeably. So that's just me. But everybody's different, so you really just have to figure out what that person likes their hair to be referred to as, and it's really up to that person. So the next question is, how do you add the decorations to your hair? So there are so many, I can't even count right now. So many videos on my page, and there's going to be a new video on my page about how I put the charms in my hair, how I change the charms out, stuff like that. So there's videos from the crystals to the beads to the yarn to everything that's in my hair. I also have tinsel in my hair, somewhere in here, I don't know, but I have tinsel in here as well. So I think you can see it in my braid. Yeah, so you can see it in my braid, the little sparkly. I have tinsel in there as well. There's not a video for the tinsel, so I'll probably do a video on that as well, but a video for the charms will be up in the next few days. But all the videos on my page, as far as all the decorations so far, they're on my channel, they're on my channel. So go watch them, go like, go share. And if you have any questions like on any of the videos, please feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. I'm always here to help people along their lock journey. I'm very supportive of people who want to start their locks. So if you have a question, ask me. I'm not going to be irritated by it. I'm always here to help. So drop any questions, any concerns. All my videos are up right now, and I try to post more frequently so that I can keep you guys updated. So yes, definitely check those out. Let me see what else. How long was my hair when I started them? So I was actually transitioning when I first started my locks. So I was going from getting relaxers to just transitioning back to normal. Well, natural hair. Normal for us, I guess. Natural hair. So I was already doing that like several years prior to starting my locks. So my locks were not super short. Like you see some people and theirs are like short because they maybe have a couple inches of hair. Mine were not super short. Mine were probably like here when they were wet. So of course shrinkage does apply when you have locks as well, so they would like tighten up a little bit. I would usually wear them curly just to kind of give them some movement and stuff like that, but mine were not super short, but they weren't long either. I mean, it really just depends, because I know people say they don't want to go through that ugly stage, which I hate when people call it that, because I feel like all stages of locks are beautiful. It's just a journey you have to go on, but a lot of people don't want to go through like the shorter lock phase, so they will grow their hair out a little more, which I tell people you can always grow your hair out and then start them, so it's completely up to you. But mine were about right here when I started them. And then also a bonus question that I would like to throw in there is, how do I feel about lock extensions? They're not for me. I would just say that they're not for me, but if that's what you want to do with your hair, that is your hair. That is up to you. If you want to get length overnight, that's up to you. That's what you like, that's what you want to do. I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to make any remarks about it if I see it. It just wasn't something that I wanted to do, and I feel like that wasn't really something that was out and like very popular how it is now. When I started my locks, it was kind of like you was starting them from scratch. What you had is what you were starting with. But now it's like you can have 24-inch locks overnight, you know, and that works for some people. So I feel like if that's what works for you and your journey, then, you know, have at it, you know, do what makes you happy. So let's see the next one. Oh, the another one that I get is, what if you don't want to have locks anymore? I feel like it's like with any hairstyle, you know, what if you don't want to have blonde hair anymore? What if you don't want to have braids anymore? You know, what if you don't want to have a low cut anymore? I mean, you just change it, you know. I can either comb them out or I can cut them off. You know, it's really however I want to do it. But I really can't see myself having any other hairstyle. Like, I've had locks this long and I can't imagine me with, I don't know, like, I don't know, I can't see it. I don't know, I can't see it. Like, I'm so attached to, you know, my locks, and, you know, I feel like this is my style. I feel like everybody finds a style that's for them, and I feel like this is my style. And I don't know, I don't feel like I could be able to do all the, like, the charms and, you know, the crystals and the different trinkets and stuff like that. I don't know if I could do that with another style if it wasn't locks. And I feel like locks are so convenient for me. I don't know, I'd probably go into shock if I tried something else. So at this point, I feel like we're gonna ride this to the end. So, you know, that's how I feel. So let me see. Another one I get are, how long are your locks? So actually, my locks are not all one length. I know a lot of people, well, I don't want to say a lot, I want to say some people, they have where their locks are like one length, like they're kind of like bluntly cut across and they're kind of all one length. But I've never really gotten haircuts since I've had locks. I've trimmed them a few times because like I said before, I was transitioning. So I did have some like relaxed ends that I cut off throughout my journey. So I probably trimmed them twice. Oh, and I had bangs once. I'll try to insert some pictures, like some throwback pictures in there for you guys. But I did have bangs once because I seen this one girl, her name is Narissa Irving, I believe is her last name. Freaking gorgeous woman, and she had bangs, and I was obsessed. And I said, I gotta try it. And I'm like, it's just hair, it's gonna grow back. So I had bangs. They were about like right here, and I would wrap them with the yarn and like everything else I would normally do with my locks. But I grew them out, so now you can't even tell I once had bangs. This was probably, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, maybe, I don't know. It was a while ago though. It was when my locks were still kind of on the shorter side. So I just wanted to try it out. But I feel like, you know, try it out, experiment, you know, and see. But yeah, so I don't know, but I've never measured my locks until today. I only measured it because I was going to do this video. So my longest lock is, let me see, this, hold on, it's one of the ones that's in the back. Let me see. I think it's this one. Hold on. It's one of the ones in the back. Oh, I'm sitting on my hair. It's one of the ones in the back. I think it's this one. Let me see. Yeah, oh, it's this one. So it's this one, and this one measured at 38 inches. So, you know, I got that natural 30-inch bust out. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so they're pretty, the longest ones are pretty long. Yeah, so 38 inches, that's crazy. I knew it was longer than 30 inches because I can sit on my hair. So I knew it was longer than 30 inches. But yeah, so 38 inches is the longest one. And then I have one, I think it's this one here. It's pretty long as well, so it's probably around 36, 38 inches as well. So yeah, they're pretty long. I do get them caught in the door sometimes when I get in the car. That's a struggle within itself. So, you know, I say if you're gonna have like long locks and you're like really gonna grow them out, you just have to be mindful about, you might get stuck on things, you know, you might close your hair in the door or in the drawers sometimes. So, you know, be mindful about that. My next question, when people see me out, I always get asked, like, do I start or retwist other people's hair? Rarely, very rarely, but I have, only because it's very time consuming. It's very time consuming. And, you know, with my schedule and stuff like that, and I really try to be like productive on my off days to kind of get stuff done for myself, you know, I rarely do have a chance to do it. I did actually start my younger sister's locks. She's had hers for a little over a year now, so I did start hers with 2-strand twists, and her locks are flourishing. So yes, I mean, if you do want to start them, 2-strand twists is very beneficial, easy to start them with, so you definitely try that. But yeah, so I mean, if I do get the chance, I might start yours for you. But I mean, it's not something that I'm like, it's not a service I'm offering. So I'll put it like that. I just put it like that. I always get, do I have any tips? Because people always see me as like, oh, your hair's so long. Do you have any tips? So I just kind of, whatever came to mind as far as tip wise. So I always tell people, number one, figure out how you want to start your locks. Figure out if you want to start them with coils or two-strand twist, or if you want to do lock extensions. That's number one. Figure out how you want to start them. That's first and foremost. Figure out how you want to start them. The second tip I would say is to learn to do them yourself, or either go to an experienced person. Don't go, I call it chair hopping, because you know I do lash extensions. So when I have clients, they hop from stylist to stylist to stylist. We call them chair hoppers. So don't be hopping from chair to chair trying to, oh, this person can squeeze me in this month and this person can get me this. Find you an experienced person who's gonna keep up with the condition of your scalp, the condition of your locks, who's gonna make sure if you want your hair dyed or whatever the case is, that they can give you a good service and keep your locks healthy. But don't be jumping around here, there, and everywhere. Find you a person who's gonna take care of your locks for you, or I would say, because you also need to learn how to take care of them yourself, because Lord forbid, what if something happens and you can't, you know what I'm saying, you can't get in with that person, or like we were on lockdown and a lot of people were having to do their hair at home. So I would say go to this person on a consistent basis and learn how to do it yourself. And then that brings me to number 3, is consistency is key. Try to fit in your schedule consistent retwists, consistent shampoos, consistent, you know what I'm saying, maintenance for your locks. You know, don't be one of them people who, you know, you're getting your hair retwisted once in a blue moon and you don't know why some of your locks is hanging on by a thread. Is because you don't know what's going on. You're not consistent with your lock journey. So I would definitely say be consistent. Consistency is key. I would also say keep your products simple. You don't need to put a whole bunch of stuff, especially on your locks. I would say number 1, if you want to have long hair in general, you need to have healthy scalp. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 with that is you don't need to be putting all types of products actually on your locks, because your locks, I would say, they're like sponges. They're gonna soak up anything and everything. Okay, so I would say keep the product simple. Please do not be using no beeswax. Oh Lord, please do not be using no beeswax on your locks. I don't know who started that. I don't know who said beeswax was the way. Who was, I don't know. Don't use that. It's too heavy. It's gonna get stuck in your locks. It's gonna cause all types of problems. You know, I have a gel, or I have this lock and twist smoothie product, but it's very light stuff that I put in my hair. So I would say keep the product simple. I would also say don't overstyle your hair. Just how you see like some women or people in general don't have their edges because they're putting so much tension on their edges, because they're overstyling and they're pulling their hair back really tight. I would say don't overstyle your locks, especially in the beginning. Let your locks just flourish and let them be. If you feel like they look messy or whatever the case is, what I'm saying, just kind of maybe touch them up a little bit, but don't be over styling and putting so much like tension and stuff on your hair. That's a quick way to get your locks to be thinning, and then your locks is breaking off. And then as far as like breaking off and thinning, also over dyeing your hair. I know the bright colors are popular. That's why I honestly started putting, like more yarn and stuff like that in my hair, so that I do like the vibrant colors, as far as like hair and stuff like that. But I do feel like yarn gives me that option where I'm not having to lighten my hair or bleach my hair or whatever the case is. So if you are somebody who does want to dye your locks, I would say either dye your hair before you start your locks, so therefore you're only having to touch up your roots and you're not having to worry so much about putting dye actually on your locks as much, or like I said before, go to a professional who specializes in dyeing locks, so that you're not frying and dyeing your locks and them things is popping off and now you look crazy because one lock is down here and one is up here and I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So kind of be mindful about that as well. Let me see. Also, a very important one is don't be letting people just run their hands through your locks, wanting to touch your hair. That's something I learned very young, elementary school, from my mama. Do not be letting people touch your hair. Do not be, even if they love your hair, oh my God, I love it, it's amazing. Do not be letting people touch your hair. Hands are dirty. especially some random come up to you and they want to touch your hair, you know, don't feel bad about telling somebody like, hey, please do not touch my hair. That's your hair. That's on you. You know what I mean? You don't just want anybody, random person, putting their hands through your hair. You know what I'm saying? So kind of be mindful about that as well. Also, very important thing is like when you're going to sleep or you're laying down, you know, you want to wrap your locks up. Get something to wrap your locks up with. You know, something satin, something soft on your hair. Try to avoid using like, cotton bandanas and things of that nature. You want to use something that's going to keep the moisture in your hair, and something that's not going to be like rubbing too harshly on your hair as well. So I would definitely say that's important. Usually when I'm in the house, if I'm not like making videos or like taking pictures or something like that, my hair is in a giant bun on my head and it's wrapped up. You know, even if I'm going out and I'm running errands, like cracking on early in the morning, my hair still might be wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends. But I would say definitely, if you're going to sleep at night, invest in some satin pillowcases, some silk pillowcases, whichever you prefer, some silk satin head wraps, something to wrap your locks up with. Even if they're super short, it don't matter the length. You want to wrap them up, you want to protect them. So I'll say that's most important. But let me see if I can think of anything else. I think those are pretty much the main questions that I get. If you guys have any other questions, or if I think of any other questions, I may do a part 2. I mean, it just depends. But I mean, if you guys have any questions or, just about locks in general or about any of my other videos you've seen, you can either comment and ask your question under those videos, or you can drop them under this video. So, whichever you prefer, it doesn't matter. And if you follow me on TikTok and also IG, the name is the same as my channel. So it's kittyb.the.artisan. So you can follow those as well. You can comment there. You can DM me if you have any ideas as far as like makeup looks you want to see, hairstyles you want to see. I will be doing like a piercing tour, a tattoo tour, things like that, and I'll try to take you guys along for the journey when I get more like body mods and stuff as well. So stay tuned for more stuff like that. So if you did like this video and you enjoyed it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon.